As Sierra padded alongside her mother, proud to be the only pup in the pack who could keep up with the adults, she growled and stopped to pounce on a rabbit. When Sierra finally caught up to her mom and they got to the den, she was absolutely exhausted. She carefully set the rabbit down on the floor and ripped it to shreds. Then she sat fast asleep. Sierra opened her eyes and yawned. Had she really slept the whole night? She stood up from her spot on the floor and looked around. Nobody was there. I mean, it wasn't abnormal for Sierra's mother to leave her in the den while she went on an early morning hunting trip. It was nothing to worry about. She howled just to make sure. Nothing happened. She walked outside and the dens were deserted. That's strange, she thought. She howled again. No one responded. Sierra started to panic. She paced back and forth across the dirty floor of her den. She took a deep breath to calm herself and sat down to think. After a few moments' silence, she decided she was going to look for them herself. She walked towards the stream to get a drink. She sighed, then she sprinted off towards the woods. Chapter 2, Alex's Story. Alex and his twin sister Star were running around in the field by their den playing when something caught Alex's attention. It was a butterfly. His mother had told him about butterflies, and he'd always wanted to see one for himself. So he started chasing it, running as fast as he could down the hill that led to the forest. It was beautiful, but as soon as it flew into the dense trees, he couldn't find it anymore. Oh well, he sighed, and turned to go back home. Except, which way was home? Miles and miles of green and brown land stood before him like a book just waiting to be opened. He thought for a moment and decided to follow the river back home. He knew his way back home from the river. He could hear it gurgling and gushing, just bright blue, clear water. He walked over to it and took a drink. Nice, cool water covered his snout. And what was that? A flicker of movement? Something orange and red. I wonder if it's edible, he thought. And then he realized how hungry he was. How long had he been chasing that butterfly? Minutes? Hours? Oh, well, whatever it was gone now. So he started following the river upstream. He walked for what he figured was about 10 or 15 minutes. Then he heard a loud roaring. Was it another wild animal coming to get him? Then he looked up ahead and saw it. It was the biggest waterfall he'd ever seen. He'd be ripped to shreds if he tried to go up it. Oh no, he thought, what am I gonna do? Then he had a wonderful idea. What if he howled? Maybe his mother or sister or some other wolf from his pack would come and rescue him. Chapter 3, A Surprising Encounter. As Sierra slipped through the shadows, stalking her prey, she suddenly heard a howl. Thought Sierra, maybe her mom had found her. Maybe she was close by. She started to get excited. The howl sounded again. Although it didn't sound like her mom's howl. Maybe it was a different wolf. She decided to find out. She left the fawn she was chasing alone and barreled off towards the sound. It seemed like the wolf who had howled wanted her to find him, because when she got there, he was sitting by the waterfall, howling as many times as he could, as loud as he could. She quietly ran up to him and scared him from behind. "What are you doing here?" she asked him. "I'm Alex, and I'm, lost," he stuttered. Interesting. My name's Sierra. I wouldn't call myself lost. I would call myself, abandoned. I just woke up this morning and my mom and none of my pack was there. Oh, he said thoughtfully. Well, I was chasing a butterfly and I accidentally ran away from my den, and now I don't know the way back. I know the way back to my den, said Sierra. That's not the problem with me. I just don't know where my pack is. Nice to meet you, Sierra, said Alex. Nice to meet you too, Alex, said Sierra. Sierra, said Alex slowly, I was wondering if I could what, said Sierra. Well, since we both know I'm not scaling that waterfall, if you would teach me how to hunt and stuff? Your mom didn't teach you how to hunt? Exclaimed Sierra. Wow. My mom taught me how to hunt before I could even howl. I honestly don't know why yours didn't. I have a twin sister, said Alex. She taught her, but not me. Is your sister older than you? Said Sierra. Well, yeah, said Alex. Said Sierra. Well, maybe I can teach you how to hunt. Since neither of us can find our families, how about we just live by ourselves? Together. I don't think we could start a new pack yet. Because I don't think neither of us are ready to be pack leaders. Yeah, you're probably right, said Alex. Well, here I go. I'll try and teach you how to hunt. But let's get some rest first. I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted. Then she yawned, curled up by a tree, and went to sleep. Chapter 4. Hunting. When Sierra awoke the next morning, Alex was curled up beside her. Rise and shine, sleepyhead. It's time for your first day of hunting lessons. From the best pup around, Miss Sierra. Ugh, moaned Alex sleepily. What time is it? Dawn, replied Sierra. Oh, I usually sleep until noon, said Alex, then drifted back off. Again, Sierra smiled to herself. This would be a perfect opportunity for a prank. She went to the stream and filled her mouth as full as she could with water and then spit it all over him. He screamed. What was that for? For disobeying me. And for not being excited for our first day in hunting lessons. Now, the easiest prey are owls, since they're nocturnal. And especially if, like me, you know how to climb trees. Climb trees? Yelled Alex. Who said anything about climbing trees? I did, and I'm your teacher, so you have to listen to me. So, this is how you hunt an owl. First, you climb as slowly as you can up to the owl's perch on the tree. Then you very carefully take one paw off the branch and kill it quickly with a cut to the neck. Make sense? I guess so, said Alex. Now for the demonstration, exclaimed Sierra. They walked a few steps into the forest until Sierra pointed and said, Aha! There's one. Now be quiet or you'll scare it away, she said. She climbed up the pine tree and then very slowly took her paw off the branch and killed it before it could even squawk. She gently picked it up with her teeth and carried it back down to the ground where Alex was standing. Wow, that's pretty cool, Sierra. I know. I was the best in my pack. Now, let's feast. After they ate, they spent the rest of the day learning and training about hunting. Then, as the sun was about to set, Sierra said, Your turn. What? I have to kill something now? Said Alex softly. Yup, you have to kill a squirrel. Actually, make that 2. One for me and one for you. We learned a lot about hunting squirrels today, so you should know how to do it. Okay, said Alex shakily, and he went for it. He sniffed along the ground until he found the squirrel scent, and then he walked very, very quietly to the tree where the scent was leading. He looked up in the tree, and sure enough, there were 5 squirrels resting there. He quickly jumped up and snatched 2 in his paws and killed them as quick as the blink of an eye. He looked down and saw Sierra below him, cheering him on. When he got back to where she was standing, she said, "Good job, your first squirrel, and faster than I could have done it any time. Thanks for the dinner." He laughed at that. "You know, I think we're going to be very good friends." "Yes," Sierra replied. "I think we will too." They scarfed down their dinner and then went to bed right as the moon came into the sky. Chapter 5, Standing Alone. Alex surprisingly woke up before Sierra, and he decided to get right to business. He saw a small fawn running along the edge of the woods, and he raced after it. When he killed the fawn and was about to bring it back to where Sierra was sleeping, he heard a rattle in the grass. What was that? He thought. Just keep moving. It was probably the wind. But then he heard hissing, and the rattling sound was again. He looked down by his feet and saw a snake with bright red shapes on its back. Its fangs were bared. "Oh no," he thought, "I don't know how to hunt snakes. Sierra never taught me. What am I supposed to do now?" He decided to fight back instead of running away like a coward, because that's probably what Sierra would call him if he did that. He dropped the deer carcass and turned to growl at the snake. He heard the rattling sound again. What's that supposed to mean? He wondered, but he didn't have time to think because the snake lunged at him, hissing, and he pounced on it. It thrashed in his grip and tried to bite him, but he shook it off. Then he stamped on its head with his back legs, and the thing was dead. Whoa, that was scary. I wonder what Sierra's gonna think. I know what she would say, he thought. You probably shouldn't have gone wandering off by yourself, and you wouldn't have gotten into this trouble. The way you defeated that snake was just pure luck. Even I know she's a better hunter than me, he said aloud. He sighed, picked up the deer carcass and the snake, and carried them back to where Sierra was sleeping. Well, she wasn't sleeping anymore, apparently, because when he got back, she was screaming furiously at him. "Where were you? I was so worried about you. Can't believe you just ditched me while I was sleeping here peacefully under the tree. You went and hunted alone by yourself. You could have gotten seriously hurt, Alex. Are you crazy?" "Actually, no, I don't think I'm crazy. I think you're the one who's crazy for yelling at me," he thought. It would be really rude to say that aloud just after Sierra said that she was really worried about him. So instead he said, "Well, I got us breakfast," and he flung the deer carcass and the snake at her. "Why did you get a snake?" "Well, I don't know. I wasn't planning to kill it. It just attacked me." "Alex, do you know how dangerous that snake was? It was a diamondback rattlesnake. It has poisonous fangs. You could have gotten seriously hurt. I can't believe you even killed that. That's so amazing." "Really? I thought you would just say that I killed it on sheer dumb luck." "Well, that too. And it was also partially from what I taught you." "Yeah, I guess." "Thanks, Sierra." You're welcome. Now let's dig in, she said and smiled. Chapter 6. Sky. Sierra woke to the sounds of splashing in the river. Then, suddenly, she was drenched in water. "Hey!" she called down. "Alex, is that you? If that's you, I'm sorry for spitting water all over you, but that does not mean you have to do it to me." She growled and leaped down from the tree. She growled even louder, which woke Alex. There was a lone wolf standing right in front of her with sleek silver fur and blue eyes. She must have been about their age. The only difference was she was not only swimming in the river, but playing in it. She wasn't even planning to get to the other side. She was just playing in it for fun. That is so not something that Sierra or Alex would do. Sierra howled, and suddenly the lone wolf snapped her attention toward Sierra and Alex. She got out of the river and studied each of them very closely. Sierra circled her and started growling. Alex, following her lead, did the same. "Who are you?" she snarled. "This is our territory." "My name's Sky," she whispered. I'm a lone wolf. Please don't hurt me." "How old are you?" "Please don't hurt me," Sky whispered. "I'm only 5 moons old." Said Alex. "Sounds like she's the same age as us." "Shh," said Sierra. "If you promise us that you will not hurt us, we will promise you that we will not hurt you, and we will invite you to join us for lunch. And you have to tell us all about who you are. Agreed?" "Agreed," Sky whimpered. They sat at the roots of a large redwood tree, digging their claws into 3 freshly caught rabbits. "So, we kept our half of the deal. Now it's your turn," Sierra said to Sky. "Tell us about all of your past and how you became a lone wolf. And we might, just might, make a pact with you." "I'll tell you all I can remember," promised Sky. "Go on," urged Sierra. "Well, I don't remember much. All I remember is I was a young pup, maybe almost 2 moons old, and I woke up in a cave, there was rain pouring down outside. I was all alone. There was nothing in the cave except a few mice and some vines. I stayed in the cave until the storm stopped, and then..." Sky paused. "Well, I've been a lone wolf ever since." So, let's review. Your name is Sky. You've been a lone wolf since you were 2 moons old, and you're 5 moons right now, correct?" "Correct," Sky said. "Interesting, very interesting," said Sierra, and she stood up and moved closer to Sky. "Well, I guess you seem like a nice wolf. We'll let you join our pack. Alex, do you like that idea?" "It's fine with me, Sierra, but I just think maybe we should tell her our names first." "That's what I was just going to do." "Well, my name is Sierra, and I'm 5 moons old, too. Alex is 5 moons old also, and me and Alex have been living in our own little pack for 1 moon now. We both got separated from our families." "Okay, so who is the pack leader?" "Well, we only had 2 people in the pack, so we didn't really know who should be the pack leader." "I'm out," Alex said immediately. "I am so not being the pack leader." "That seems like more your style, Sierra," he added. "Okay, how about me and Sky compete to see who should be the pack leader?" Sierra, I'm not so sure about that." Don't worry, Sky. I'm not going to hurt you. I mean, like, who can run faster, who can hunt better, stuff like that. We're not going to be fighting. Don't worry. Well, that's a relief. Then if we're not going to be fighting, I guess I'll do it. Okay, now, the first games are going to be who can hunt a rabbit better. Okay, do you know how to hunt rabbits, Sky? Yeah, I know how to hunt rabbits. Then let's get started. Whoever comes back to Alex with a rabbit first wins. Then there's going to be 2 more competitions to see who is the pack leader. Okay, said Alex. On your mark, get set, go! Sierra barreled off as fast as she could to the spot where she knew a lot of rabbits were. She saw one in the underbrush. She creeped up slowly, and caught it. She caught it right between her front paws. She picked it up by its neck and raced back to Alex. And Sierra wins, announced Alex. Good job, she congratulated Sierra. You did a good job too, Sky. The next games are who can run faster, said Alex. Okay, I want you to run to the little circle where all those trees are, where me and Sierra first met. You see where I'm pointing, Sky? Yeah, I see it. On your marks, get set, go! Chapter 6, The Pack Leader, and the pack worth leading. Sky loved running, just feeling the wind rush through her fur, the breeze on her face, just getting the nice feel of fresh air in her nostrils was enough to make any wolf smile. She was almost to the spot where Alex had said where the race would end. But of course, so was Sierra. She put on a burst of speed and got there just a nanosecond before Sierra did. Then she noticed that Sierra was stopped, dead in her tracks. What is it? She called to her. Oh, she breathed. Then she followed Sierra's gaze. There was lots of crashing and banging, like something huge was coming towards them. And something huge it was. When it finally reached them, she wanted to say uh-oh too, but she was too scared of the bear to move. There was a giant grizzly bear standing right in front of them. The bear suddenly snapped his gaze toward Sierra and charged. She howled and ducked out of the way just in time. Instead, the bear ended up knocking a tree to the ground. This bear was dangerous, was something that both Sierra and Sky agreed without even having to look at each other. Sierra backed up helplessly to a giant tree and tried to climb it, and the bear was right behind her. Sky, she yelled in terror. The bear swung one giant paw at Sierra and missed her by an inch, but unfortunately took the branch to the ground. Sierra leaped off it just in time, but it landed on her head, and she was knocked unconscious. The bear apparently thought she was dead, so he moved on to Sky. Oh no, she thought. Then she had an idea. Maybe I could use the same approach as Sierra, but just with a different method. So she scrambled up the nearest tree as fast as she could. And then, before the bear could do anything, she started sawing at the branch above her. And when it was almost And when it was almost cut loose from the tree, she knocked the branch with her front paws and it hit the bear right between the eyes. She knew the bear would only stay passed out for a while, and she also knew they had to move quickly. So she leaped down from her branch on the tree and tapped Sierra lightly on the shoulder. "Come on, I took care of the bear. It's okay now," she whispered. Sierra opened her eyes and immediately got to her senses. She scrambled to her feet as fast as she could and took off running towards Alex. "Whoa, are you guys okay?" Alex said. "You were gone for a really long time. What happened?" Sierra told him what happened until the point where she got knocked out, and then Sky filled him in until the point where they got back to him. "Wow," said Alex. "Sierra, I think you need to rest up. Your head looks pretty bad." "Does it?" asked Sierra. "Actually, he's right," Sky said. "There's a bump right on your forehead." "Yeah, and the competition doesn't matter anyway, because I think we all agree Sky should be our new pack leader." "Yeah," exclaimed Alex. "Well, if you really want me to be your pack leader, I've got one thing to say. You guys are a pack worth leading."